Hi, welcome back to Tracking Networth with Jappie. So another month has passed, and I better record one of these before I forget. Yeah, this month I've just been like going out a lot, I guess, because I'm on Aruba, and it started the month with like still in vacation mode, so that was fantastic. Yeah, and I almost went partying every week. I think actually I did party every week, which is really good. Um, yeah, and like some of the tenants, some of the tenants here, they invited me to go on cruise tomorrow. So like this is my parents' complex, and I'm just like also staying here, and yeah, it'll be cool. Yeah, and also started like a little vlog about my dating adventures because it's good to reflect on that. But let's go to the financial. Let's go to the money stuff, right? That's why we're here for. Okay, so let's see. The income. Right. So my business. I got a payment of 11,213, and the 213 is some expenses I had in the beginning of July. For Contiga. So there's like this factory we went to visit, and before coming there, the product manager managed to forget the batteries, and I bought batteries on the way there because he was going by plane and I was going by train, so I had like more time to arrange this kind of stuff. And yeah, so like essentially the product we're trying to sell, we need to make sure all the hardware is working, and I had to have some expense, and I just like made the company reimburse me that money, which is what I did here. So like that's the company I like my main contract, which is like Converge. Okay, next, business expenses, which is like 535. Yeah, so apparently the insurance for my car came in, which is like 230 euros. And then I also moved a flight over from 8 September to 22nd of September because I need to stay here a bit longer to do some repairs to the Airbnb rental I have. But anything related to transport, I usually put on a business because I'm here for business as well. Like I have a client here on Aruba, so that's fine. And yeah, like the other, so it was like 250 for the car, 150 for the flight, brings us to 400, and like the other 130 is just malicious payments like accounting software and yeah, Hetzner. So it's like the VM I'm renting. I put internet on there as well for the office. It's like 50 euros, but yeah, that's all business expenses, so that's fine. Yeah, and this is like my estimate of taxes I've had for this month. So it's like 37% of this number. It's probably gonna be lower because I'm restructuring the company, but yeah, like this is my current problem. The taxes are too high. Yeah, and with the restructuring with PV, I get like a more formal split. You can decide where to pay taxes, which would be good. This is the Airbnb income, and it's a lot lower than the previous month, and that's because the house in Kampen hasn't had any income. So this is just from Aruba, I guess. And the reason for Kampen not getting any income is because, well, the tenant actually rented it for the entire month, and next month there won't be anyone in there because I essentially need to find a cleaner. um, to take that over, and I won't be there to actually do that. That's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, like I can't do much about this right now. Like the house in Aruba has a bigger priority than the one in Kampen, because the Kampen is like the one I mostly live in, and just having there an Airbnb is just a nice extra. It's not. It's just like something I'm using to get out of debt as soon as possible. But like in the long term, I probably don't even want to have an Airbnb in there. But there you go. The manager cost is like 600 euros. So this is Ingrid. She's getting this kind of money to actually do all the work in Aruba. So that's like a fixed cost. And then I have to run the place. So this is like power, water, cleaning the pool, gardening, all that kind of stuff. And then finally we got living expenses. I'm a bit cheaper than last month. I don't really know why. Because I've been going out more. I guess I went out eating less this month than the month before, which is, I mean, I guess it's more expensive. I don't. And when I come here the first couple of weeks, I usually have like a lot of expenses because I'm just realizing I've been here for this is my second month here. I've not been here that long at all. But yeah, like if I arrive in Aruba, usually the first week I have a lot of expenses because I need to, buy all the stuff I want to have, and yeah, it's just more expensive in the first when you arrive. Okay, the bad debt payment, surprise per surprise, that's the same. It's just minimum payments to everything. And then finally, how much we left over is 5,000 euros. So you'd expect my net worth to go up by around 5,000 euros based on this. Okay, so then we go to the assets and liability sheet. So this is like the new account I added for this month. I still have 63 euros in cash because I cannot spend the euros here. I got some cash in florins as well. This is because I need to pay random stuff in cash here on Aruba. They don't always have like a bank account or just inconvenient for various reasons. So I keep some cash on hand. And this is dollar. This is the money I get back from partying. Yeah. My checking account. Okay, good news. So I'm closing this account. This is one of my private accounts, and I just opened this as a student, and I still have it. And they changed it to an account for which I have to pay money. I think back in 2021, but I still have it open for some reason. I used to use it as like my main account, but now I'm gonna move over to ABN to ING for everything because that has my mortgage as well, and I can't close it. So, but the good news is that there has been no transaction. So apparently the transfer service this bank provides, ING, is working, which is good. Yeah, so this ended up being 5,500 again somehow. It was up to 10,000 at some point this week, but there you go. I sent over more money to Aruba because the exchange rate is good. So I've been sending over money every time I see the exchange rate is good, and that's why it's increasing. Yeah, like you get 2 florins now for €1, which is really good. It used to be like you get 1.8 florins for €1, which is bad. So I prefer to send money over when the exchange rate is good, and I'll do that again next month instead of my emergency fund because this will go down anyway over time. Yeah, and Trade Republic has been accruing interest, so €80, which is fine. My business account has been shooting up, and the reason for that is because of the splitting up my my company from private. I don't know. I think I have to follow additional procedures to get this money out. So I'm just like hesitantly just keeping it into my N26 account for now. Interactive Brokers has gone down for some reason. I'm not really sure why, because they are not reporting any share price updates from Russia, and like most of my shares in this account are still in Russia because I couldn't sell them. I think it's exchange rate related. It must be because there's nothing else changing here except my I also have like 10k in bonds, but that showed an increase of €80. So I don't get why it's 1,000 lower, but it's 1,000 lower. It must be exchange rate. So I guess the ruble went up in value compared to the euro. Actually, we can look that up for a bit. Yeah, so the ruble went down in value, and the shares are priced in ruble. So because the shares are priced in ruble, the account went down in value because I'm looking for a euro perspective. Okay, I don't know why it's going down so quickly, but probably war related or something, who knows. Accounts receivable, we don't have anything receivable, which is fine. Pension, oh yeah, so the pension, there was like a little bit of a crash in the beginning of the month, I remember. I was on vacation, so I had time to investigate it a bit. Nothing happened. People were just panicking, and I did nothing, so that's good. But apparently it recovered again. I didn't expect that so quickly. Like it's basically back to all-time highs, probably. Actually, I don't know about it either. Like, let's look that up. I haven't checked the S&P 500 for a while. Like I stopped caring. Oh yeah, we're back to all-time highs almost. Like Jesus Christ. Yep, we're almost back to all-time highs. So there you go. Do nothing and you gain, huh? That's how you do retirement. I didn't actually check the flex security. This doesn't change a lot. I'll check it in New Year or something. The super sheet shares are still the same. That's fine. Doesn't change either. Like they have to raise funds again to get it up, and it will take years. The house doesn't change. This doesn't change either. The house and your start. This is just like fluctuations from the exchange rate, so that's fine. The currency is going down, and I priced this in Aruban currency. It doesn't really make sense, but there you go. I don't know how to value this properly. Like I should get like an alternative method because it's gonna take it will change every 5 years. In the current approach I'm using, and it will probably be some. I first thought that maybe some government worker will come and do like an appraisal, but then I realized that no, that's not what they're gonna do. They are way too lazy for that. Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna value this because there's like a land value tax here. Well, it's not. It's like a property value tax. So they need to have like some kind of valuation. And what they did is like the purchase price I paid. However, I spent like 40,000 euros on upgrades in this house, which is not calculated in. So yeah, like 44,000 euros because I put half that number in here to make sure that I'm not overvaluing it. But yeah, so we can say that maybe there's like 220k of my own money in this. Well, I also borrowed money, but there you go. They don't take into account 50k of that for the property valuation tax, so I'm underpaying the property value significantly, and I'm like benefiting that from via the Airbnb, which is fine. Anyway, like student debts, so they had some kind of outage and I couldn't log in, but it doesn't change a lot anyway. Apparently like 8 euros a month or something. That's fine. And then you got the deferred income tax. This is like my guesstimate on how much taxes I have to pay. I'm just adding 3,000 euros a month here for now. This is probably way too high because I'm changing to BV, which would, well, we can look it up. Tax comparison, like normal people do. The amount of taxes income tax I have to pay would end up being around 12,000. But I also have to pay the profit tax, which would be 14k, so I end up 26k actually I have to pay because I don't have to pay out dividend. I'm probably gonna pay out dividend, but yeah. Well, it's fine. Like we keep adding this for now, and we'll just adjust our model for tax assessment next year once I get the complete forms for taxation from the people I pay for that. It's too complicated for me to figure out actually. Like I'm just guessing and like reading the rules, trying to understand it, but I wouldn't. It's not my expertise, and they're really good with accounting, so I'll let them do it. All right, the pension. So this is like the debt I still have to pay once I get my money out. The pension, I still have to pay taxes over that. So yeah, like I have like 70k now in pension. But the trick with this is that you send over income. Well, I sent over 15k of income to the pension brokerage account, and dumped it all in S&P and didn't think more about it. It was just a weird tax dodge, I guess. And then I eventually, once I'm 67 years old, have to pay taxes over this, and this column just tracks how much taxes I still owe. It's, again, I guess I'm just guessing at 33%. It's probably gonna be lower actually, because you don't have to pay the social security part of taxes anymore. But and I was watching some of these financial YouTubers, and they said like, "Oh, you're actually not sure if this social security stuff will exist once she's 76 years old." And I was thinking like, "Hey, that's actually a really good reason for me to put more money into my pensions, because I know for sure that will exist. That's like capitalism, like protected, right?" So yeah, I'm probably gonna send it over again, like 15k or something like that. Maybe like 10% of income, which would be, it would be close to 15k. So this is my father mortgage. This is the money I borrowed for the house in Aruba, and it's going down because I'm making these monthly payments. And then we got the money I rented to insulate the house in the Netherlands, which is 0%, and the credit card is 10%, but it gets paid out every month, so I never pay interest, which is fine. I actually had to use it on several occasions on Aruba because at supermarkets sometimes my Dutch cards don't work, and it's kind of embarrassing, but every time I can move over to the credit card, and I'm just like relieved. Yeah. This brings us to a total net worth of 341 euros. 341,000 euros. So we got like 631,000 in assets, and we got 290,000 in liabilities. And you can see it's like a 6,000 increase. And I was like curious, like, okay, why is my remainder only 5,000, and my net worth is increasing by roughly like 6,000, right? That doesn't make sense, even though my investments and stuff went down actually. And the reason for that is the debt payments. So this is only these numbers are not completely interest, like it's not going into the void. It's not pure cost. Some part of it will be used for paying down the principal, and that's like why my net worth is increasing faster than what I'm earning. What's left over, as I mentioned. Actually, the net income was like 9,000, so it should go up by 9,000. But I have to live as well, so that's my living expenses, which are still on the high side because I'm still in Aruba, and Aruba is expensive. It will go down a little bit in the Netherlands. I'll probably can live for like 1,200 or 1,100. I'm not sure. I'll probably like 1,100. It's just groceries are expensive here. And the other interesting thing is like business income. Yeah, I'm really happy with that number actually. It's really good by Netherlands standards. Yeah, and so another interesting thing is that this is the lowest it has ever been, I think, 0.46. Because I've been, ever since I started doing this, I've been in student debt, and it has never been this low. So my debt, so for every euro I have 0.46 in debt. No, I'm not saying that right. So if you have like 0.5 debt ratio, you got what is it doing? Oh, it's dividing the liabilities by the assets. Okay. For everything I have 0.46 in debt. So about 50% of my stuff is borrowed money. 46% of my money is borrowed money. Okay, there you go. Because if you look at the total assets, it's like a really high number actually. But across that there's a lot of debt. And I've been thinking about it, like I don't have that much stuff. I have like 2 houses, which is, more than most people, but it's like, with 3 houses, you're essentially a millionaire. What the hell, man? Like, being a millionaire is not what it used to be, the quick cash. So this is like money you have available, which you can quickly access. So it's because I've been keeping so much on my bank account, my business bank account. And yeah, I'm just like being uncertain. That's why I have so much quick cash. It's actually not good to have that much money available, but I've been thinking like I should also have like a 6-month emergency fund for just my business. But yeah, we have to track expenses better for that because I'm currently just doing whatever. But I should like calculate myself as an employee and then calculate the expenses based on that, aside of the regular expenses like the 500 euros we have. But keeping track of all these numbers will help me do that. Liquid assets, that's like, okay, quick cash is like, money, and then liquid assets is also like stocks and bonds. It's like stuff you can access within a week. And then the money in bricks is like, the houses essentially. Mortgages. So that's, the various mortgages I have. Fortunately, this is going down. That's good. Oh, and I've added a new column here. I've been wondering about this because if I subtract from all my stuff, like all my assets, the value of my primary residency, because that's like basically a condition to live. Having a house over your head, like you need shelter. So why would you even track that as like a financial thing, right? Yeah, and if you do that, then actually I don't have that much money at all. I have like 55,000 euros. Yeah, I think that's a more better way of looking at things. Because this is the stuff you can play with, right? This you cannot really like sell or buy your house, right? That's like a huge headache to do. But I can easily sell the house on Aruba, for example, and it wouldn't impact my life much at all. Well, it could easily. It's still a fucking pain in the ass, but it wouldn't cost me. It probably would also cost stress, but it wouldn't cost me the same amount of stress as selling my own house. Like my own house is a huge hassle, but selling the house in Aruba is like fine. Okay, high yield debt is trending down, which is fine. This is great actually. So my strategy is still to pay down these 2 5% mortgages. So that's another reason I'm saving up all the cash, is because I need to pay these down in one go. Actually, I'm getting quite close. But one thing to keep in mind is this N26 account. I have all the money saved on. Well, first of all, the N26 account, where is it? Here. This money I've saved up. It's not taxed yet. So if I want to move this to my private money, it's gonna go down by 20%. So I have 20,000 saved up. So it will be 16,000 after taxes, right? We have to take into account the tax man because of the split I made. Secondly, I also need to have money for my retirement. So I want to move over another 15 grand to retirement probably, or another 10 grand. I'm not sure yet. Probably. We'll have to see how. Yeah, we'll have to see how many because I know for a fact that the advisor has found me a way to reduce my taxes, my income taxes even further, via saying that my BV will provide also pension. And he like put a bunch of goodwill in my organization, and he said like, oh, we can convert this goodwill into pension money. And that way he essentially is reducing my tax burden right now, which would allow me to not send money over to my pension account and instead keep the money in my private account, which would be way better because then it's liquid and I can spend it right now, get another house or whatever. Or probably actually I want to have like a fat stock portfolio as well. Just have like a giant buffer. Yeah, but yeah, if I don't have to send much money to my pension, but if I do have to send money of my pension, I want to like probably emit it as dividend, because currently most of my money I'm getting is being sent to so most of the money, as you can see, like there's not a lot left over, right? This account isn't growing. Well, this is growing a little bit. It's like 900 euros a month or something, but it's not growing because I'm barely keeping up with debt payments. The payments are too high. And yeah, for the 56,000 euro salary, it would I could keep up with the payments, but it wouldn't grow enough to yeah, just 2,000 euros a month. It's a lot. So I need to like emit more money to my private to be able to actually send the money over to the pension account, which would reduce my taxes even further. So I have to pay taxes now to reduce my taxes later by a lot more, and yeah, get tax advantage savings. It's annoying, but yeah, that's like one of the issues with these high debt payments. I end up having to pay more taxes. Anyway, a 6,000 increase in a month is actually really good. One thing to keep in mind is that with these difference numbers, most of these increases here are by quarter, and these increases are all by month. So I'm stepping by month by month by month. So I've become more diligent with keeping track of the numbers by month, and we can see that in the overview as well. So my little graph, for most of the time I've been doing it by quarter, so you get these big gaps. But I've been starting making these videos, and I got more interested in finance or whatever, and I've been doing it by quarter instead, or by month instead. So yeah, like I guess my financial goal is still the same. I want to get rid of the high interest debt because the payments make my life more difficult. And once I get rid of the payment, so it's like just these 5% columns probably. And the goal after that will be okay. So the goal after that is we're gonna do this thing I wanted to do initially with the 5% payments, which is essentially make like a stock portfolio, or put money in the stock market, have it like grow next to the 1.717%. But a part of it will also be in the business account, and that money I'll keep growing because after in 2030, I think, yeah, in 2030, there will be some moment where I have to renew this mortgage interest rate. And at that point, I want to have enough money available to just pay it down in one go if the interest rates aren't low enough. And low enough, I mean like lower than the 2%. So, if you're under the central bank inflation level, I'm happy to remain your mortgage customer. But if you do it above it, then I'll just pay it off, and I won't be owing money to anyone, and it would be great. But yeah, so that would be, debt free before 2030. That'd be amazing.